Today we're going to be making this fun Slimline shaker card. Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and today's video is part of the Cards by Kendra 1000 subscriber celebration giveaway hop. I'm so excited for Kendra. She just recently reached 1000 subscribers, and to celebrate, she is giving back to you. She's got a ton of sponsors for this video, so in order to enter her giveaways, you'll want to watch all the videos in the hop and like and subscribe, do all the things, and be sure to give all those folks a bunch of love. So let's go ahead and get started on this shaker. The inspiration for my card came from one of Kendra's videos that's on her channel. It's actually one that was from the Team Tiny Love Hop. And so if you want to see that, here is the link to that video. And so what I'm basically doing is I'm going to case her card. Now what case means is copy and share everything. So I'm watching her video as I'm creating the card, and I'm going through all of the steps that she's going through, but using the step that I have in my stash to do this. Now I've done shaker cards before, but I wanted to make sure I was doing pretty close to what Kendra has done. So that's why I'm following her directions as I'm creating this. So I'm going to be creating a window in this piece of red foil cardstock. I just love this cardstock. I'm doing more and more with it. I'm trying to use all of my nice pretty foils. I mean, that's what it's there for, right? And along with that, I'm also creating a frame. In her card, that's what she did. She had a die that did the frame. So I'm using my new dies from Spellbinders. This is the fluted frames that you may have seen that that video I did, that live stream I did last week, using these for the first time. They're just awesome. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create a card base. Now for a Slimline card, it's going to need to be 7 by 8.5. So I'm going to cut a few inches off, cutting 4 inches off of the long end, and that's going to leave me with a 7-inch panel wide, and then I can score it in half, and then it's going to be a perfect large regular Slimline. That's also the length of that red card panel that I have already cut the window out of. So I'm lining up those red panels on my card base, so I'll know kind of where I want to do the stamping. For Kendra's card, she had an image that she had stamped in the middle of her Slimline of some real pretty hearts. I'm going Christmas, so I'm going to be using a new stamp set from Spellbinders as well. I'll list all of the products that I'm using down in the description below. But I did need to mark that so I know exactly where I need to put my image. So I'm going ahead and putting this into my stamp platform so that I can get that lined up, because, you know, I always want to make sure I double stamp it just to be on the safe side. I'm also going to be heat embossing the image. So I'm taking one of these new stamps from the clear stamp of the month for this month, and I'm taking the one with the ornaments. I just love that curvy line of the ornaments there. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that inside that box that I've already drawn on there. So I'm using some VersaFine Clear ink and Wow Clear embossing powder. That gives me, well, it makes it look like I actually heat embossed it in black, but it makes it so I don't make a big mess. The last time I tried doing any kind of embossing in black embossing powder, the embossing powder went into some areas that I didn't want it to. In this case, it just sticks to the black ink, and since it's clear, if it does have any little specks anywhere else, you're not going to see it. Instead, I've got that nice crisp black image, and it looks like I've got some perfect heat embossing. I decided that I wanted a little color behind those ornaments, so I'm going down with a very light coat of some green ink. I believe that I used the Rustic Wilderness for this one, and I'm using my large blending brush for that. It makes it a lot easier for me to put some ink down without getting too splotchy, and I can put a really light layer on there. Next, I'm going to do some real quick coloring of those little ornaments. Now, I am doing a little bit of shading, but it's nothing special, so I'm just going to speed up through this. Next, I'm adding some double-sided tape to the back of my little frame so I can add some acetate. That way my shaker bits don't fall out all over the floor. So I'm burnishing that down a little bit to make sure that it adheres well, and then I'm going to just adhere that to a piece of acetate and trim it down. Then I realized that my larger panel is actually just a touch too big because I like to have that little bit of white showing around the edges. I don't want this to be flush with my entire card front. So I'm going to trim about 1/8 of an inch off of each side so that it still stays center, but it's a little bit, I guess it's a little bit smaller. And to do that, because this is such a thin frame all the way around, I had to put that centerpiece back on the inside and tape it down so that it would basically stay straight and I'd be able to cut each of those sides straight. I know, it's another one of those times that I didn't really plan things ahead of time like I should have. Okay, I took all that tape off and now I can put that outer frame onto the card panel. I'm trying to get it lined up again with that acetate piece and it's not really working all that well. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down and then I can put the acetate piece in to make sure everything still fits properly and that those edges, you know, each side is pretty much straight. So it all looks good. So next step is figuring out what kind of sentiment I want to do, and I am going to do a Merry Christmas sentiment, and I'm doing something I don't normally do. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back of that red cardstock. This is the piece that came out from the center, and then I'm going to cut out that Merry Christmas sentiment from the red cardstock. And then I'm going to position those words on the front on that acetate. Now the tape that I put on the foil cardstock, it's something that I got from 3M. It's very, very, very sticky, and thankfully it was the last one that I have because it was also very hard to work with. So I'm going to put that Merry Christmas on the front of the card, on front of the acetate. So it's going to be outside of my little shaker window. Now I'm going to create the well for all of my little shaker bits to go in. So just inside that frame, I'm putting 2 layers of some double-sided foam adhesive from scrapbook.com, and I'm putting that on my, actually on the card base. I tried it to begin with on the acetate frame and it wasn't sticking very well, so I'm also using my art glitter glue to hold everything together. Now I don't know why it didn't work as well, but it didn't. So I went back and did it a second time, but no worries. I am being careful to make sure that all 4 corners are really flush with one another because I don't really want my shaker bits to be falling out. I'm also not going to put too much in here because I want the little ornaments to be seen as well as the shakers, and I want there to be, you know, quite a bit of movement on there. So next I'm going to take off that the release paper on my strips and add some art glitter glue to that before putting my acetate frame down. I also put one of my die cutting plates on top just to give it a little bit of pressure while that glue dries. That finishes up this shaker card. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Cards by Kendra 1000 subscriber celebration giveaway hop. Be sure to check out Kendra's channel and give her some love, and check out all the other hoppers in the hop, because I know they'll have some amazing projects for you to see. Here's another video that I know you'll enjoy. Thanks again for dropping in, and have a wonderful day. And remember, if I can make it, you can too.